I mounted this onto a 2x4 because this is in my garage, and well, that's where it's going to be mounted right this second. This simply drops into, it just drops into these divots here. And there is the cable that's going to plug into the side down here. So it sits in like that and clips in place. There's a button on top to release it so it can pull itself out. And that's all you need to do to get the light system on it. I'm going to zoom out the lights now so we can get a better idea. And so the light bar itself has two pivots on it. And because it's so close to where you're going to be using the unit, what we've decided to do is take the unit and move it further down. So it's going to be about 32 to 33 inches away from the top of your head to the center of the unit. So this part's going to sit further down, and then these are going to come out that way towards your head. So it's going to look more or less like this when you're using the unit. The main reason being is that you don't have a lot of width to work with. So we have to take that into account and see what the best way to make that work. And that is to get these so they're offset as so to keep them close to the wall and give you the flexibility that you need. So you can still move this up and down, left and right, and you can move all of these around at your leisure to get them to where you need to. So when you're using the system and you're done, you're just going to lift it up as so. Hello and welcome back. We are going over the workings of the control box now, specifically how to plug things in and what all the buttons do. The most important button is the one on top, and it's only one button there, and that's the power button. It's a round button right above the letter C in resonance, and there's only one way to turn it on and off. To the left of it, about 1.5 inches, is a small slot with an SD card. It's very difficult to get out on purpose. It has all the memory functions for these 4 red buttons, which we'll go over later. Now let's work over to the right side, and we have our music player here. The cables that you're going to receive are about 1.5 feet long, so they're not going to be this short. This is just for filming purposes. But we have our charging cable, which goes in where it says charge. We then have music in, so your music player will plug into the music in. We have the 1/4 inch headphone cable, which goes into the only larger open slot down here. There's no label for it, but that's where the headphones go. Finally, we have the location for the lighting system. This has a push button. You push in, wiggle and pull out to get this out. Put it back in. You're just going to line it up so it pushes down and push in until it clicks. You can't pull it out unless you release that quick release. Now let's go to the bottom of it. We have the headphones and the vibrations. Vibrations go to the table, the headphones go to the headphones. These both mute if you press up. So you're going to hear it pop or click, and that means it's muted. Press again and it unmutes. Now these have a wide range of volume, so you can turn them about 2 turns to get full volume. Next up on the other side is the power, which we showed you previously, and the connector for the sound system, the vibrations. Those two are going to run down through a hole into the underside of the massage table. We're going to work our way over to the left side. So here's the left side. We have this black knob which adjusts the brightness of the red lights. Below that is a silver knob, and that's for something called a BNC connector, which most PEMF devices use. So you can plug this in, you can plug a PEMF device into this, and then it'll send the information into the crystals. Let's move over to the front of the system. So the three buttons on the bottom control lights, the second set of lights, and the frequencies. So if we start on the lighting system, it's a basic on-off function. The next one over is IR for infrared. This one has three different settings. The one all the way down is for steadiness, so they won't flash at all. The middle setting is to turn them off. And then the high setting for music will take the music from here, send it through the red lights, and allow it to pulse with the music. That's going to allow for greater entrainment of your body into the music. The last button over here is also a 3-position switch. The bottom will send information from here, this display, into the crystals. Second position will turn it off entirely. You can still have the PEMF go through it, the auxiliary PEMF over on the side. And then if you go up to the top, it will send the music through the PEMF as well. So music can go through the red lights and the frequencies, as well as the vibration in the headphones. We have the ability to shut off the music so it's just steady for the red lights, and then once again, this display will work off of here if you want. Personal preference, we like to use this display where we can set our own frequencies. Maybe 528 is a great frequency, 111, 432. Beneficial solfeggio frequencies we like to use. Here we have the frequency generator. On the left side we have the frequency buttons, the right side the duty cycle. The bottom line where it says 50 is the duty cycle. The top line is hertz. To change the hertz, you simply press up or down on the frequencies. If you hold it, it rapidly moves. So we can set it to maybe 532. Which is a great solfeggio for the heart. The duty cycle, if we look at the chart, it shows us how the duty cycle works. So 60%, 50%, 60%, 70%, those are all good values to keep it at. If it's at 100%, that means it's going to be on 100% of the time. If it's at 0%, it means that it's turned off. The higher the number on the duty cycle, the more power is being sent into the coils. Relative, because we have a separate amplifier that handles that. But essentially what you need to know is keep it between 40 and 60%, and that's great. Now for the 4 buttons up top. We have set, mode, fast, and slow. The set button will put whatever you currently have on in long-term memory. Mode will rotate through 14 different programs, and they're pretty straightforward, so you can look through the manual or you can just push through it until you find one that you like. And then if there's an ability to change the speed, you do that through these 2 buttons. We're going to bring the light bar down now so you can get a feel for what some of those are. All right, so we just put 3 of these in the frame so you can get an idea. As I am pushing this 3rd button over from the left to right, it's the mode button. It's going to change these green very green, blue, dark blue, purple, all white. Now we have chakra colors. If you saw some of the other crystals, you would see that they're red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, dark blue, purple. And then this one gives it a bit of a flash to the regular chakra colors. This next one reverses the chakra colors in case for some reason you wanted to have it reversed. Same thing, it flashes. And then we have a kaleidoscope where it goes through all the different colors. And here's another version of that where each one of these gets its own rainbow. And now we have one that's purple and blue that alternates, 100% red, and then back to the one that we started with, which was that yellowish color. So there we have it. Now let's just pull up one of these. I'm going to choose this color. If I like it, I can hit set, and then it puts it in long-term memory. So what that means is I'm going to move away to a different color scheme, like this one. When I turn off the power to the unit, and then I come back and turn it back on, so now we are going over the rubber inserts and the crystals. So in order to put the crystals in, we have these rubber inserts that were made. And I'm going to quickly pop this out and bring it closer to the camera so you can see it. These are already going to be in place. But it's basically a saddle that's going to drop into the holder, and then a yoke that keeps the crystal in place. Now when I mean drop, it's going to take a little bit of finagling to snap it into place. What happens is when we put the crystal into it, it's going to expand a little bit and help keep it in place. And now that there's a yoke around the crystal doesn't fall out if you want to turn it a funny direction. What we see over here is a hanger for the headphones. And if you don't want to use the hanger, you don't have to put it on. We're going to take off the hanger in the headphones right now because we are focusing on the movement of the light bar. So the light bar has the ability to move left, right, over, up, down. And we can also take two butterfly screws, loosen them to adjust the angles further. Now the way that you're going to have this set up is the light bar is going to want to get itself to a perfectly flat position. So these aren't going to do as much as they would if the system was normally straight on. And that's to our benefit. Since the system is going to be further away from you, from your head to where the center is about 33 inches. Two reasons for that is that there isn't a lot of width with the massage table, and second, where your hand naturally lays is going to be where these two volume controls are, which is going to be beneficial for you because you can adjust the volume very easily. Now, we can also take these and position them quite easily in many different directions. So you can get them all together, further apart, things like that. That is basically the long and short of it. If you want to get this up out of the way, you just move it up.